The Rizzuto Show.
Oh, we have a superstar here. Mr. David Koechner's in the studio.
Hey!
Right there.
All right.
That guy right over there.
Next to me.
Listen to that applause. Thanks, gang.
Like this is a real legit movie star.
Yeah.
And we have all sorts of guests in here, but we have a legit movie star. Like movies I actually have seen. No, before you
And
came
some
in.
you haven't.
I've seen most of your work.
Really?
Oh, yeah, name a movie.
Piranha 3 Double D.
Is that
just
that's where you
watching
got
that yesterday.
That's where you got your head cut off, and your head landed in the cleavage of a woman. Thank you very much.
Somebody goes deep cuts. All right. Cheap Thrills.
Who was in that with you?
Pat Healy. So you didn't see it. Pat Healy. That's actually a really good one. It's less of a comedy, more of this real intense thriller.
That was only like 2-3 years ago, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you see it?
No, I saw some like trailer stuff, and when I was reviewing when we were talking to Beth last week about getting you on, that was one of the things that I listened to you on a podcast or something maybe, and it was from that era, and you were talking
Was
about
it
the
Jericho?
film. Man, I don't remember.
You seem like a guy that might listen to Jericho's
Really?
podcast.
Is this the wrestler Jericho?
Yeah. So that's
No.
Snap Judgments, folks. I'm looking at tattoos.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Really?
So you're looking at Moon over here. His name is Moon, by the way.
Okay.
So Snap Judgment. What is Snap Judgment there?
I'm seeing
very
tattoos.
That's-
You're
feminine
slowly
hands.
working it down to the sleeve.
No,
You've got a
that's
nice,
it.
high, tight haircut.
Thank you.
You got a little color in there. I'm thinking he listens to Jericho's podcast.
Thank you. I don't know. It's sort of random, but the Snap Judgment is one that I've listened to a few times. But I remember.
He's not talking. He's making
No,
a
I'm
snap
making a
judgment
snap
on
judgment.
you.
Oh, sorry. Never mind then.
He's
But
like,
I'm
I love that
confused.
podcast, Snap Judgment.
No, he's talking about you,
But I
buddy.
did
That'd
hear
be
you.
a
I
good
did hear you
podcast.
talking about that. I did hear you talking about that film, and you were like, I mean, you said many, many good things, and that it actually was a
it's a
really,
fun
really good
one.
film.
Well,
It's a fun one.
let me tell you where he's going to be. Okay,
Yes.
2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow. Funny Bone, Westport Plaza. Yeah, you do the stand-up thing, and you've been doing the stand-up thing for a long-ass time, haven't you?
Not too well. 6 years.
6 years,
I
okay.
started in sketch and improv, and about 6 years ago, I decided to go out on the road and do some gigs.
Well, I bring that up because you were on SNL,
Right.
and normally stand-ups are on SNL.
Right, but I came through Second City
Mm-hmm.
out of Chicago, so that's how I got that job.
So how do you audition for that? I mean,
Well, the first audition, they have you come in. You had to do a political character, a celebrity, and then you do a character of your own. So you had to do 3 pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and then you either get a call back or you don't. So you fly out to New York, you do your 3, and then you go home for 2 weeks and wait and sweat, and then. Although I had a really good feeling.
did you?
Yeah. Sometimes you know.
And is it in the room with Lorne Michaels?
No, you're on the stage on 8H, and no audience, just cold room, camera there, and you just perform to dead space.
Wow.
It's really kind of intense.
'Cause you hear the story-
It's surreal. It's surreal, the audition. And then you come back 2 weeks later if you're invited back, and you can do whatever you want. You get 6 minutes, I think. And I think I did 4 or 5 characters in that 6 minutes.
Do you remember the characters you did?
Yeah, I did Jokey. I did Gerald. I think I did Fighting Bill Downey. I did Fagin. I did Jokey, Gerald, Fighting Bill Downey, Fagin, and I think Jerry Prastis maybe.
And you got the gig.
You got the gig.
And
then you
who
fly
was in your cast?
Myself, what's his name? Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. Okay.
Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah.
So here's who
That
stayed
guy.
over. Tim Meadows stayed, Norm Macdonald stayed, and Spade stayed. Molly Shannon had been there a year before, and then they brought on me, Will, Sherry O'Terry, Chris Kattan, Daryl Hammond, Nancy Walls, Jim Brewer.
Damn.
I think that's everyone.
Wow, that's a hell of a cast.
Mark McKinney.
That's a hell of a cast.
Yeah, good cast, good people.
You did that audition at that studio
On
in front of
8H.
just a few. That's a really cold, quiet, empty studio
Yeah,
when
it's
it's
surreal.
empty.
It's real surreal. But you know what? It's an audition. So when you're auditioning, you're alone anyway.
Yeah.
So you just got to get past that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much nicer if you're in a club and it's a little bit darker or something.
yeah.
Even if there's only a few people, that's a big, giant, bright, quiet
Well,
studio.
but if you're in a club, think about this. If we're in a club and you're doing your stand-up set, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then you go do it there, now you're getting no feedback. Now, so that could throw you.
Yeah.
So it's your mindset. If you already decide how you're going to do it and react, and it's not about the reaction, it's about the doing of it. That's where you have to be when I think you're trying to get that type of gig.
Well, and you're a guy from Missouri. I mean, I don't know where the hell Tipton is. Tipton, Missouri.
Well, let's go on a road trip, bro.
Me and you.
Bro.
Me and you.
Let's
Bro,
do
we
this.
cancel the shows. Let's get to the big T.
Can we go? How
show you
far
the
away
one
is it
stop
from
right.
here?
Tipton is 2.5 hours down.
Does it say home of David Koechner?
No.
Damn it!
It better. It says golf champions 19. It's got a sign about their golf championships.
Well, the next time I swing by Tipton, I'm putting up a sign.
Do you try to go back there, or are you over trying to go
My
back there?
parents have passed. My brother lives there. My siblings are all in Kansas City, except for my brother. So it's easier for him to come meet us all in KC. And my wife's from KC. So I haven't been back in a while. But I will get back there.
Well,
Yeah.
and what did your parents do?
My father manufactured turkey livestock trailers for turkeys.
Okay.
So if you've ever seen turkeys go down the road on those 40-foot flatbed trailers and
Yes.
those cages, they came from Tipton.
Okay. So as a little kid, and your dad does that, are you dreaming of SNL? Or
No, I'm working for my dad.
Really? Are you dreaming of getting the hells out of town?
Yeah.
That's it.
I knew I wanted to live in a city. I didn't know what I wanted to do necessarily.
And you went to Mizzou, and what's a big city for you? Is it St. Louis? Is it Kansas City? Is it L.A.? Is it
Yeah,
New
either
York?
of those. At the time, a big city would be Kansas City or St. Louis.
So
when I was in Tipton or Jefferson City.
how does one get out of Tipton? Like, what's your?
Well, I went to college. I went to a place called Benedictine College in Atchison, Kansas for 2 years. Go Ravens. And then I went to the University of Missouri for a year and change. And then
For a year and change.
Yeah.
You were on the same plan as me. You in the school didn't have the same understanding what learning was?
like I had to go to class.
Yeah.
No, I kind of knew I didn't. I was a poli-sci major, and I kind of realized I didn't want to do that anymore. And so I quit going. And then my dad said, "Dave, I don't know what you want to do, but I don't think you want to go to school," which I thought was, wow, that was really cool. Thanks, Dad. But then I bought the car I was driving from him, and then I got 3 jobs in Columbia. Then I went and visited a friend in Chicago, saw the second city, saw that they taught classes. It's kind of like a light went off. I was like, oh, that's how a person gets here. Because by this time, I'd kind of thought, well, I wonder if I want to go into entertainment. I wonder if there's a way I could do that. But again, at the time, there's no internet. You don't know, there's not, people aren't handing out pamphlets.
And how old are you at this point?
22, 23.
So, I mean, you're carefree. You don't care. I mean, you got no wife, you got no kids, right?
Yeah, got no strings.
No strings.
Yeah.
Like you could roll the dice.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take some chances. What was your backup plan?
Oh, that was it. I
Perfect.
didn't make one. That was it. Once I made my decision, I was going to be an actor. I knew I was going to succeed.
And your
And it
first
wasn't
time,
arrogance or ego. It was like that was just more determination.
So you take the classes
Yeah.
in Second City,
Yeah.
and do you remember your first time on stage?
Yes, the first time I was on stage at Second City, I was standing on the main stage and taking class, and my heart almost was jumping out of my chest because all the greats had been there before. Like I'm standing where John Belushi had performed, where Bill Murray had performed, and I was almost shaking. And, it didn't matter.
Was that a rush?
It was. I was really nervous.
You were hooked.
Yeah. But I was also taking classes at another place called the I.O. So I was taking 2 classes a week at least, and then performing on the weekends.
And you were all in on this. Who was in your group in Second City?
It's incredible. My first classes at Second City were with Chris Farley, and people you aren't household names, but Tom Purcell is the head writer for the Colbert Show and has been since its inception. Brian Stack has been on Conan and now Colbert. These are just brilliant guys. But the people I came up with is a who's who of the media dominators today. So Adam McKay, writer, director of Anchorman, also won an Oscar for Big Short. Steve Carell, Nancy Carell, his wife, Rachel Dratch, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Horatio Sands, Kevin Dorff, John Glazer. The list just keeps going. I can't even finish everybody. Mike Myers. I mean, everybody was back there.
And it's amazing how you guys help each other out and put each other and everybody else's movies, and it's very incestuous, the group.
Yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of community.
And that's why you have 1,000 credits on your...
Is that why? I mean, you look at the times I've worked with those people, and the rest of my credits, they don't always match up. So if you did your algorithm there, maybe the old man got a little work on himself.
No, I'm not.
I mean, on his own, not on himself.
On himself,
Dude,
right.
I'm not
Not on me.
discounting anything you've done. How dare you?
I know you weren't. I know.
I
you
said I'm
weren't.
a big fan.
I know.
I'm a
I
big fan of
appreciate
your
that.
work.
I didn't mean to twist that.
And we
knife.
were watching.
We're still on a road trip. Boy, we didn't
We're
get out
still
of
going?
town.
Are we still going?
Yeah,
No,
we got about 10 miles out of town. We had our first fight. Yeah.
Just take me home.
And
I'm
now
out.
for the next
Don't
50
fight in
miles,
front of us, you
the next
guys.
50 miles, the radio's off and it's silence.
we're taking a van, I guess.
No, I mean, we watched The Naked Trucker and,
Oh,
and
nice.
T-Bones.
Yeah.
Right on. Cool, man.
And, I mean, here's a little clip of that, like some of your stuff from that.
My daddy is an astronaut. Meant to come back, but I guess he forgot.
He wants to cover
My
that.
daddy has
Yeah.
been to the moon. Mama says he's coming
This has gotta be
back
fun for you to
real
do.
Oh, yeah.
soon. Where were you on graduation day? All right, I wasn't there either. Anyway, I didn't get no
Look up all
car.
this stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a million
That was a
things on
fun
YouTube.
show. We did that live show at Largo in Los Angeles for about 8 years, and then they finally gave us a show on Comedy Central. Didn't quite work out because I don't think their vision was the same as ours. But as my wife says, I was an executive producer, no one to blame. But I would have done things differently.
You know, there's a time and place for things. I mean,
Yeah.
certain things hit at a certain time, and it's a lot of luck.
It is. And you know, a lot of it is like that. It is your vision, and you have to be insistent. A lot of times when people are insistent that things go a certain way, they get a reputation for being difficult. But they're being successful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people in business don't cut corners, and they don't take crap from anybody.
Right.
You know, so that's what happens in success. So
All right, so you do SNL, and how long were you on for?
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you were not asked back, or what?
I was not. I had a great season. I had 4 or 5 recurring characters, and I wasn't asked back. The reason was because West Coast had more power that year.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first year of Mad TV and the first year of Howard Stern's late night show.
Mm-hmm.
So ratings dipped a bit. So it kind of put Lauren in a bind, and he couldn't cover all his pawns.
Really?
Yeah. So they wanted 3 or 4 people gone, and so I think I was just a sacrificial lamb.
Really? So
yeah.
so you didn't make the cut for the next year, and had they tell you? Did Lauren call you, or was it just like
No, you see it in the what's the gossip rag in New York?
Oh, page 6.
Yeah,
That's how you found out you weren't
Yeah.
going back to SNL.
yeah,
Damn.
Ooh, man, that is.
yeah. That's the first place. I don't know why someone would leak it there. I have a pretty good idea of I know who leaked it, but
Who? Let's name names.
no, I don't care.
But we do.
People
We're going to their house.
People who are lonely and horrible and fearful and have those types of lives do that type of stuff.
Was it a fellow cast member?
Oh no, they wouldn't know.
Huh.
No. It was a person that was a producer on the show.
Wow.
But who cares? I mean, they have to live with themselves. I don't care.
Okay.
Look, 6 months later, I met my wife. That's the way life was supposed to be.
So when you got let go from SNL, you're like, this is it. It's
I
over.
moved to LA. No. I knew I had already established a toehold in show business and moved out to LA and got work right away.
So even just, listen, having SNL on your resume is huge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I went out to LA and actually got a holding deal immediately. And so I had that, and I just worked immediately. I did Wag the Dog, which was very
Great
exciting.
movie.
Yeah. Got to meet Harlan Williams on the set there. I think this is the first time I met Harlan. God, I love Harlan. We'll do weird texts. You know Harlan.
Yeah. He's been in here before.
I'll get a text message out of the blue from Harlan, and it's like, "Hey guy, found sand in my bed this morning. What gives?"
Harlan Williams is a guy from Half Baked, the one that goes to jail.
Butter stuff.
And he's an amazing stand-up
Which is,
as well.
he was amazing.
Amazing
He's
stand-up.
amazing.
Oh,
His stand-up is so bizarre.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
He goes, "Hey there, little fella. What are you doing here?" I remember the audience.
Hey guys, see? How are you? He's amazing.
And
yeah.
now when you walk down the street, I'm sure everybody's yelling Anchorman stuff to you.
Yeah.
And you're like, come on, man, I've done other stuff.
No, that's okay. I don't mind.
Well, speaking of doing other stuff, and you and Harlan and like that whole group, you guys have influenced so many modern day writers and comedians. For instance, my cousin and I are both musicians, but my cousin and Ben, they work on this comedy troupe, and they're the type of dudes that don't just do one thing. They're doing 5, 6 different things. They got a skit troupe over here. They got like a songwriter thing over here. They're doing political humor on this side. You do movies, stand up. You even do this Power Nap Productions thing, which is basically like it's like for MC gigs. I'm assuming it's basically like an online business
Yeah,
card.
we're surfing around that website, which is
Did
very
you
entertaining.
get some laughs?
But you go all out with
Dying.
everything you do, everything you touch, even the serious stuff like booking you for a corporate event is freaking hilarious, dude.
Good,
like
thank you.
you are all over in such a like a deliberate way. You know what I mean? Like you said, like you're doing it your way. And
Well, it's awesome to have steady work. I mean, for the career you've had.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done this, you've done that, you've done this, you've done that, and you have 5 friggin' kids which you got to feed.
So
So
you got to work.
you got to work.
That's also why I did Piranha 3 double.
We all got one of
It wasn't
those.
just the script. Like when it calls for your head to be cut off and land in a chick's cleavage. you're
Dollar
like, this
bills,
is-
y'all. I wouldn't do what they
me.
asked first. You want to hear that?
Yeah.
So here's what my original death was supposed to be. I got knocked into the pool, and this naked woman, I think she's a lingerie model or whatever, was supposed to somehow land on my shoulders with her genitalia in my mouth.
Uh-huh.
And I was supposed to be getting eaten by piranha as we twist around, and I
Yes.
am
Doing
It looks like
deeper
something
and
else.
deeper
Yes.
into yes. And I said, I'm not going to do that.
that. I won't do.
So that was in the original script?
Yeah. Yeah, and I said no. We can think something else.
Said, let's make it better, or I drive away in a golf cart and
Well,
my
so
head
that's what
gets
they
cut
did.
off.
Then they took my head, and then they could do what they wanted with it, and so that's why it bounces between these super sized,
Voluptuous.
yes, breasts.
Pillowy. I think that's the
Nice.
word you use. Pillowy breasts.
Yes.
So you don't get tired of the champ kind stuff.
Oh,
Hey
no.
man, say whammy for us. Come on, man, say whammy.
I like it when they say, "Hey, give me a blammo."
I mean, that's one of the most quotable movies of all time.
That's true. I mean, who would have ever thought that milk is a bad choice would be on a T-shirt?
When you're doing that movie, do you realize we've got something here? Or
Yes, absolutely. I was shocked when it wasn't a huge hit, but it was so different that people didn't quite get it. That's what happened. I mean, when we were making it, I'm like, this is incredible. It's special. It's uncommon. This is unlike anything I've seen or done before. And so when it didn't immediately become, $200 million hit,
Yeah,
I
it
was just
didn't.
like, what happened? But they had dumped it in August, and I think it took a minute for people to kind of get it. Because there's a lot of layers to that movie. And every time people watch it, they find something
new.
Yeah.
It's true because I didn't see it in the theaters. I got it on DVD, and it was me and my wife and my brother-in-law and his wife. We watched it for the first time, and my brother-in-law and I were like, "What was that?
Right.
yeah, dude, that's how I was too.
What?
I saw it in
hell
the theaters,
was
and when
that?"
I left, I was like, swing and a miss. And then the second time I saw it, I'm like, this is quite possibly one of my favorite movies of all
Yeah.
time.
It's so funny. It took people twice. Yeah.
Yeah, it
It
really
didn't-
did.
Did it not almost spawn a new genre of movie?
Oh,
It
for
did.
sure.
Yeah.
100%.
So many people have ripped that off. It's ridiculous.
Or, the ensemble comedy, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
So,
I
and,
mean, just every
absurd.
And a lot of improv in it too. I mean,
Well, yeah, we would always shoot every scene 3 times, and so we knew we had it in the can, and then we would just start improvising, which is, it takes a rare person to be able to handle that. Like McKay is so bright, and he comes from an improv background, so he knows what he's doing. So it's not just for nonsense reasons.
Well, I mean, you have all those great improv.
Yeah.
You and Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd and Steve
Carell,
Carell.
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Carell.
How much of the actual script was used in the movie, and how much was the improv stuff?
I'd have to go back, and sometimes it's like half of the line and then another line improvised, or who knows what stuff. I can't remember what was. I'll tell you this. Let's see. Steve gave me part of one line. It's the Dorothy Mantooth one. Let's see.
Oh, with Vince Vaughn?
Yeah, I think the original line was, "I'll drive golf balls at your mother," or something.
We eventually said, "I'm going to take her out for a
Well,
nice."
it became
Nice steak dinner, never call her
I think
back.
Steve came up with, "I'll take your a nice seafood dinner."
Yeah.
Because Steve's from the East Coast.
makes sense.
I never would have thought of seafood dinner. So it was, "I'll smash your face into a car windshield, take your mother, Dorothy Mantooth, out for a nice seafood dinner, and never call her again." I know Steve gave me seafood
Dorothy
dinner.
Mantooth is a saint.
He improvised that too, I'm pretty sure.
I feel like the some of the scenes you can kind of tell, like the hungover scene. When you guys
Yes.
are like that some of that has to be
Yes,
improv.
that was improvised.
I was showing Riz up in the office this morning. I'm like, one of my favorite scenes of that movie is I woke up in a Japanese family's rec room and they
Yes.
would not stop screaming.
That was the scripted line.
Oh, that was scripted?
That was the scripted one. The one that was not scripted was on the DVD.
The chocolate squirrel.
Yeah, chocolate squirrel.
Oh, yeah. And then Steve
then-
Carell says he ate a candle.
Yeah, that was the scripted line.
Yeah.
And then they also said, I ate a chocolate squirrel.
Yeah.
That was improvised as well. Because we're sitting around the table.
Yeah.
You know.
And then we in here want to do the afternoon delight for you. We wanted you to do the, but then there's no way we could have pulled that off.
We only did that in 3 takes.
Wow.
3 takes.
I mean, just a classic scene.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some afternoon delight. My motto's always been,
Are you
when
back
it's
there right now
right,
filming
it's
this?
right. Why wait until the middle of a cold, dark night when everything's a little clearer in the light of day? And we know the
And just
night
the
is
subtle
always
nuances
gonna
of
be
like the
there
cuts.
anyway.
So Will's face.
Oh, dude.
Thinking of you's working on my appetite.
I didn't keep a straight
Looking forward
face
to
doing this.
little afternoon
just did
delight.
it.
Rubbing sticks and stones together.
You don't
make
wanna blow the
sparks
tape?
Ignite, and the thought of loving you is getting so exciting. Sky rockets
go.
in flight. Afternoon delight. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon delight.
With that cast too, everybody's so pro at not blowing it. Did anybody like is out of any of those guys? Do they typically crack any?
No, because you don't want to blow it for anybody else. I'm lucky because I have the hat, so I can just kind of dip my head
I can see you
and
laughing.
blow it. In the second one, when Will comes in after when he's blind and he comes in in that hospital gown, and he just launches himself onto the floor, and he's so petulant. I couldn't take it. And that's you see me dip my head and when the lighthouse scene, none of us could hold
Oh, this
it
is
together.
in the second one?
The second one, in
second
the
one.
lighthouse scene, no one could take it. Literally, everyone was crying, and he was shooting with 4 cameras, so you could just lose it, and you're not blowing the take. That was really hard.
God, what
When
great
he was
movie.
talking about, he's talking about. What was it? He bit hard into an ashtray. Couldn't you tell it wasn't a waffle? I'm going to say it one more time, really loud. I am blind. It was just so ridiculous. Oh,
I mean, the Anchorman movies, Talladega Nights.
that was a great one.
You
Yeah.
gotta roll it.
You know,
I mean,
you know what? Another movie that you were in where I thought the character you played was great was when you were Cooter in the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was hysterical.
Iconic.
That's a scene where people.
why did that movie not do well?
I don't know. I can't break them all down.
I
don't know.
What? Not
Sean
my
William-
fault.
Sean William Scott, who was
Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville, that's right, and
Jessica Simpson.
And Burt Reynolds,
Yeah.
Willie Nelson.
and David Koechner
Me?
was in it.
Yeah.
Come on. I don't. You know what? Here's the thing. Everything has to go right for a movie to click. It only takes 1 or 2 things to not quite go right for a movie to be a miss. And who knows? I mean, like you said, the first time you saw Anchorman, you thought swing and a miss.
Yeah.
Dukes. I mean, I think I don't know what it did at the box office. I can't remember. I think it was decent.
Yeah.
But maybe they were trying to set up a franchise. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the thought.
I want to say that went up against something pretty intensely as well.
Oh, that week.
I want to say, yeah, that was a big weekend. And Anchorman 2 was another one of those word of mouth movies. Like I didn't
Yes.
see it when it first came out, and I had to have 5 really respected people in my circle go, I'm telling you, dude, it's way more than just silly one-liners.
Yeah, you gotta go see it.
Like you said it's such a layered movie or whatever. I remember having to be convinced to see it, and when I saw it, I went, oh my God, I have to see that again within the hour.
Which is the movie you did that you thought was going to be huge and never really hit, or project? You're like, dude, this is it.
Run, Ronnie, Run.
Oh, Run, Ronnie, Run. That
Yeah.
was with
David Cross.
David Cross,
and,
that's right.
and Bob Odenkirk. And I think it's a great movie. But I was, I thought that was going to be bigger.
that was another movie. You go, what the hell did I just see? Run,
Apparently, all I do is weirdo films.
and what was the role that you were up for that you thought you had it, but something happened, you didn't get it?
You don't want to talk about those.
Really?
I mean, why say?
Does it hurt?
No, it doesn't hurt. You're just like, oh, okay.
Just move on.
I will tell you, I have auditioned for stuff where the producers and the director are in the room and they applaud Like one time, I just killed it. And I walked out and I'm like, well, that's mine.
You don't want to say what it is?
No.
Oh, God, I want to know so bad. Listen, we're in the car on the way to Tipton.
And I'm
You
in
gonna tell me?
my car going home, I called my agent. I said, well, I booked that. He said, they already have an offer out to somebody.
Oh,
no.
And I wanted to say, you mother grabber, why would you send me in there, make me do all that preparation, all that work, and not let me know that they already have an offer out to somebody? That was tough. That happens.
Oh, it's show
Hey,
business.
that's show business. Exactly.
That's show business, baby.
Yeah.
Just like here, man.
You know,
That was
Show
for the new Superman film.
that's
wasn't it?
right. Superman.
That's David Koechner over here. Now, I want you to, everybody listening to my voice right now, I want you to be at the Funny Bone for one of the shows this weekend. 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow. That's your homework. And I'm going to be checking.
That's your play work.
Yeah.
I'm going to be checking.
All right.
You better be there.
I love it.
Anything else you're plugging?
There's a movie called Priceless, which is a drama out right now. It might be still in limited release. If not, you can find it on video on demand or DVD, I'm guessing. Oh, and Superior Donuts starts on CBS in January. It's a new sitcom that I will be in. And,
There you go.
It's going to be a lot of
that's
fun.
awesome.
Dude, I
Yeah,
forgot.
congratulations.
Fantastic
That's
in the
great.
Goldbergs, too.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right,
I'm in the
What a great
Thanksgiving
show.
episode of the Goldbergs this
Oh,
year.
somebody,
Yeah.
somebody was asking about that.
Yeah,
Good.
that's a great show.
This guy's always working,
That's a
man.
great show.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
Are you ever home?
Yeah, I mean, most of that works
There's
at home.
stuff in L.A.
Yeah. So,
Not moving
good.
back to Tipton. No summer in Tipton, huh?
no turkey.
There's Tipton's own David Koechner right there. Go see him Funny Bone tonight and tomorrow. stlewisfunnybone.com for all the details. It's The Riz Show.
It's the Rizzuto Show on 105.7 The Point.